This is an LA Times Studios podcast.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Livin' Well. Today, we have a topic that is very much on my mind, and it's a burning, literal topic for me and for so many people. We have Maria Chase, who's the founder of Burn LA, the literally hottest workout in Los Angeles. It's amazing. And Dr. Asandra, a longevity specialist based here in Beverly Hills and Orange County. Together, they are a force of nature and good for wellness and helping us all with our hormones. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
The two of you are really forces on your own, but you've come together in partnership to explore a whole host of, things in the hormonal wellness space, coupled with your fitness journey and your wellness journey. So tell me first, Maria, a background on Burn. What is it? Tell everybody what Burn is. When I say, it's like that SNL skit, like the hottest new workout in LA is,
Sure.
It really is Burn. It is hot.
It's
and
a hot workout. Yes.
Hot, both
Yeah.
things.
Well, thank you. Burn is a group fitness class. The thing that sets us apart is that we're teaching classes under cutting edge LED red light, red and blue light, and infrared heat. So two different therapies. And we're doing, my method, which is a few different classes, a few different approaches to muscular design, but Burn 45 is more of like a weight training class. So you don't typically see heated classes that are like rooted in weight training. There's hot yoga and hot Pilates. So I think that in itself is quite different. It's not really a cardio class. We're not jumping around too much. We're really focused on building muscle.
But you do sweat.
Oh, yeah. You'll probably sweat more than you will ever have in your life in that class. And that is the infrared heat. But the thing that got me really interested in that versus just a regular heated room is that infrared heat produces 30% greater detoxification in your sweat versus regular sweat from just outside or regular heat is about 3%. So it's a significant difference. And then LED red light is just, there's so much science behind
So many
LED.
benefits.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I became so obsessed with it early on was that it's all cellular regeneration, which translates to faster rate of recovery, which translates to faster, more improved results.
I mean, it makes total sense. And talk about it like a multitasker.
Yeah. It was efficient to me.
So efficient.
Yeah.
And I love that you work up an amazing sweat, like cardiovascular, without any impact, because I'm really big on that now, too.
It's quite low impact.
Low impact. Dr. Asandra, when did your practice start and how did you get so involved in the treatments of hormone balancing?
I actually started as an emergency room and trauma physician.
Oh, wow.
Way back in the day.
Is
So I
it
saw
like-
it all.
Is it like the pit?
It is. It is.
Okay.
I'd say that about 99%.
Confirmed.
Yeah, 99% of it's not the fun stuff. Only about 1% is.
Okay.
But I would see all these people coming in with so many health problems and so many like medicines and everything else. And I said, there's got to be a different way here to prevent all this and see the degeneration of people and all that. So I actually started back in 2017. I opened in Beverly Hills right away. And it was an immediate response about how there was a need for hormone therapy, particularly for women going through menopause. Men too, but women suffering through menopause. And I really saw the need for it. And once I started treating these patients and replacing it safely and monitoring them, the results were just outstanding. I mean, you literally would change a person's life overnight. And what they were suffering from, it didn't just impact them, but everybody else in their orbit as well. And so that really inspired me to get going and kind of look more into the biohacking and what else we can do besides the hormone therapy to improve our quality of life, our health span, not just our lifespan, but our health span, which is the quality of life that we live now.
So true. Well, the two of you, like I said at the top of this, are such powerhouses in the wellness space on your own and the medical space on your own. How did the two of you come together? Was that intentional? Was it just sort of kismet that your interests really overlap?
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely meant to be. But we were introduced by my partner who's worked with Dr. Asandra for 8 years.
At least
plus,
8 years.
maybe.
Yeah, about 8 years now.
And he's seen incredible results for him. He's 53 and looks better than most 25-year-olds. And
Sign me up.
yeah, he attributes a lot of it to Dr. Asandra's guidance.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, he told me about a wonderful girl named Maria and how she may be going through some changes in her life. And
Well, first he sent you my blood panel
yes, I saw your
and
blood
didn't
panel.
say much. And he said, what's going on with her?
Right.
And you said something like, wow, she's like hardcore all the way through menopause.
Like on the other
On the
side
other
of it?
end, he said on the other end of
Yeah.
it. And I remember David reading me that text and I was like, what? Like I hadn't had any symptoms at all.
Mm.
And my mom had been talking to me about perimenopause for probably 5 years. And I
Mm.
was like, no, I know my body so well. Like I know that if something is changing, I will be able to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly didn't feel anything. So it was like, didn't really compute. But we decided to start with a little bit of testosterone because I had no testosterone at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how did I have, at that time, I was also teaching probably 3, 4 classes. I was opening Burn in Los Angeles and
Mhm.
I was teaching a lot. So, we do the class
Yeah.
and I was doing, 4 classes a day and somehow still having the energy. And maybe that's why I burnt through the testosterone. I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I think I remember him saying something like you started having some symptoms though. Like
I
it
was
was
losing muscle.
losing muscle.
I was
That's
getting
right.
really like thin, but I was
Mm.
still eating and I was like nothing else was changing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what prompted me to
Right.
check my blood.
But the other symptoms I don't think you were having because I think you were doing the burn program. And I think a lot of your therapies that you did actually kind of decrease the symptoms
Yeah.
that you would normally be having if you're going through menopause. So that was really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after he said that, it got me to thinking. And what I realized is when I first opened Burn in 2020, it was like I knew the science behind red light and heat. And I was really excited about that. And I stood behind it. And I would
Mm-hmm.
talk about how it regulates hormones and it balances, it reduces cortisol and raises
Mhm.
serotonin.
Mhm.
But I hadn't experienced it fully. I
Mhm.
was just starting to. Well, fast forward 5 years later, and I'm opening in Los Angeles, and now I have been training in that environment every day for the last 5, 6 years. And I think the impact that it actually had on my
Mhm.
body
Sure.
at that point in time when I was in perimenopause
Mhm.
was just to buffer or reduce
Symptoms.
the symptoms that most people would experience.
Right.
Because I remember looking at all my friends who were in their 40s
Mhm.
and experiencing your typical menopause or perimenopause symptoms and not feeling anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I just never really thought about it because I wasn't
Because
noticing
you
anything.
weren't noticing anything because you were headed to the studio every day,
Yeah.
standing and working out under infrared lights.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so that leads me to the question is you both use infrared practices in both of your businesses. So how does infrared work and how is it more effective when you're doing cardio or weights in that type of environment? Like how is it helping health overall, like you said, when you're working out in it, but how does it help our hormones as
Mhm.
well?
Yeah.
I mean, our lights are medical grade, class 2 medical grade red
Mhm.
lights. They're the strongest on the market. So it's safe for us to be in there for 45 minutes, but they are powerful enough to penetrate through the skin, connective tissue, muscle, down to the bone, to the organs. And it's all cellular regeneration. So it's working on you on a cellular level the entire time that you're underneath it.
Mhm.
Sometimes too, you can walk out of class and feel, I call it like a cellular buzz or like a
Mhm.
I
cellular
was
high.
like floaty when I
Right.
walked out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
And then,
high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's that
think
endorphin
that's what
release.
it is.
Yes, it does feel like an endorphin release.
We started using the red light a long time ago. We were using it to grow hair again. Like people would wear these red caps
Oh,
and
yeah,
sit under the
yeah.
red light
Okay.
because we knew it caused cellular regeneration and
Mhm.
improved blood flow. So we saw it for that. We use it on skin, for like she was saying, tissue repair, et cetera. And then the infrared to reduce inflammation,
Mhm.
and the heat would help with pain when people would have, joint pain, et cetera. So,
Mhm.
I mean, combining the two is just genius, right? And then you're getting a
Totally.
workout with it too. I mean, it's amazing.
Efficient.
Very efficient.
Super
Yeah.
efficient.
How does it work with hormones? How does infrared help us? And is it about the regeneration? Is it about combating symptoms? Is it helping with hot flashes, sleep,
Hmm.
mood,
Yes, all the above.
all of the
So if
above?
if you think about, we do saunas, right? We've
Hmm.
talked about doing
Infrared saunas.
infrared saunas and all that. We've been doing that a while. So there's a lot of evidence behind it now that shows it not only improves, like reduces inflammation in your body, and we know inflammation is like the killer
Right.
of our body, right? It also helps, regenerate cell
Hmm.
repair, but
Hmm.
also endorphin release. So
Hmm.
you get that the buzz we were kind of talking about earlier. You get
Hmm.
those endorphin release that you may be suffering from or lacking when you start going through menopause, et cetera.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
all these things kind of combined from a medical standpoint, really, when you decrease inflammation, you decrease your cortisol levels, your
Hmm.
hormones are able to like work in, kind of in a symphony and work together. So you
Hmm.
get better results with by doing both. But sometimes some ladies do need some hormone replacement therapy regardless,
Sure.
because you're just not producing anything.
Right.
But I think
Yeah.
combining the two, they work synergistically together
Yeah.
to really just help, mitigate all these symptoms that you're suffering from.
So it's
Yeah.
great support.
Absolutely.
If
it
you're
is.
doing
Yeah.
HRT,
Mhm.
you're watching your protein intake, you're doing all the things that you're squarely in perimenopause or menopause, but red light, however
Yeah.
you can get it. For people who maybe don't have access to a burn class or maybe like a pause or something or a clinic or maybe like
Mhm.
yourself where they can hop into a red infrared sauna, what other ways do you like to distribute it or absorb it?
Absorb the
Infrared light, like are there any like tools you like
Sure.
or?
Yeah. I mean, there's portable infrared saunas now that you can just buy online
Mhm.
now.
So
But
many devices,
yeah,
handheld
so many
devices
devices.
So
Yeah.
you think
too.
those are even the handheld devices are pretty effective?
Yeah, there's some. I don't think it's
Mhm.
medical grade like
Right,
what
right,
I
right.
Vern's
think
using,
better
but
than nothing probably.
yeah.
Right. And then what is like the duration? Like how often should somebody be using infrared light to help curb symptoms and help their
Yeah, I
hormones?
think several times a week you could
Right.
easily do it. And one thing we're forgetting about too is sunlight. I mean, you need to get out and get sunlight
Yes.
too. It's right.
Yeah.
It's important. Your vitamin D levels and all that
Yes.
is regulated by that too. So that's another substitute. It's getting out in the
There's
sun.
not a single adverse effect shown from LED red light.
Mhm.
So,
Hmm.
I mean, I probably am in it more than most people,
Mhm.
and I've never experienced anything adverse.
Hmm.
Um, but anything is probably better than nothing. And you're
Mhm.
right, sunlight maybe without some sunscreen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, a little bit. It's okay.
Sunlight without sunscreen.
Sure. 10 minutes,
Okay.
15 minutes a day, I think is okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm so like, we get told to wear sunscreen like every second of every day.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I notice that I'm like always covered in sunscreen. But
Mhm.
one of the things I tell people, I'll tell you this now since you said that, is not to wear sunscreen into our class because you're also going to block the red light from
oh,
Absolutely.
penetrating. And also, you want to be careful what's in your sunscreen because when you think about that on your skin and then it's cooking under the sun, that's like helping it to penetrate more into your skin. So keep it really
Yeah.
clean and organic.
yeah. Well, yeah, you should anyway. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I did
Mm.
wear sunscreen to your class just because I'm so programmed to like
Programmed.
stick it on before I
Mhm.
get in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better to do it after.
Okay.
What I do like about the red light too, and
Mhm.
that's why your skin looks so great, is it helps your skin look better too. So
Yeah.
you're not only getting a workout and sweating here, you're also helping
There's
your
so
body.
many benefits.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
many
Anti-aging,
benefits.
beauty,
anti-aging. Yeah.
health,
So,
hormone.
you're probably well versed in different workouts we didn't
Mm-hmm.
talk about. Maybe you take burn. I don't know.
Haven't tried it yet. No.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
about
Well,
to,
you
though.
should.
You could come with David.
I will definitely come. I'm kind of scared though. You guys are gonna kick my butt.
It's hard
I heard.
in a good way.
In a good
In a
way.
good way.
And
That's
it's just
what I like.
so different. 'Cause
If it's
I've
not hard, it's
done-
not going to change you.
Thank you.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, we're very results driven. Like the workout is standalone. It would be delivering results without the therapies. But like you said when we started, it's about efficiency and
Mhm.
especially here in the city, you just feel like everybody is on the go and they're in hustle mode. And one thing that was interesting to me when I first opened that we would have girls not familiar with burn yet, but coming to class and then going up to a recovery place to do the sauna and the red light and the
Mhm.
cryo. And slowly but surely, they would stop with like, why do you need multiple memberships when you can just get it done in under an hour and then be on your way?
Well, that's what I was going to say. My husband will go work out or run a few, whatever he's training for a marathon right now, and then he'll go do cryo, which is great. But it's like, it's another thing to add on. But it's nice to have a practice.
Yes.
But I was going to ask, like, everything you're talking about, you had this idea of yes, there's a lot of hot classes, but
Mhm.
the heat hasn't been coming from infrared, right? The heat is just heat. So you've had this idea of working out under infrared lights. Like, do you think this provides hope and sort of paves a new category essentially for this like integrative wellness?
I really hope so. That is my mission for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I'm I mean, when I started in 2020, I was really surprised actually that I didn't see more of it.
yeah.
It took a while, and I've seen a few here and there. But integrating LED red light into an heated class,
Hmm.
I think it is so supported by science that it's not going anywhere. I hope that other um, brands, follow suit. And in just 5 years as well, I've seen the technology advance so much. The red lights, I get it from the same company. The technology is like night and day from where I started. And the same with the heat. So that makes me excited because when I think of what we'll be able to be working out under in 5 years from now, it's amazing to think of.
Amazing. Well,
Hmm.
infrared, obviously, we've established is great.
Hmm.
What other modalities or therapies are you utilizing in your practice to address hormone health?
Well, my main practice focuses on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy.
Okay.
So we are constantly monitoring and replacing hormones safely. I think there's a stigma behind it still that hormones cause cancer,
Hmm.
or men are doing it just to look like the Hulk or whatever it is.
Hmm.
And it's really not the case anymore. We're finding that through new studies now that safe replacement of hormones actually helps you live longer and have a better quality of life,
Hmm.
reduces heart disease,
Hmm.
inflammation, helps keep muscle mass on. I mean, Maria was saying she was losing muscle mass, and we're seeing that more and more. And what
Yeah.
happens when you lose muscle mass, osteoporosis, and you lose estrogen? When you go through menopause, basically your hormones shut down, right? So you're not producing testosterone, you're not producing estrogen as much anymore, or none. And therefore, that's when we start seeing the osteoporosis come in. You're losing muscle mass, gaining fat.
Hmm.
And that's when you are more prone to injuries and more medical problems with that. So, by
Hmm.
replacing it safely
Hmm.
and under monitored conditions, we check your labs often, you can really start reversing all that and start feeling like your old self again,
Hmm.
younger, even better sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you alluded to, we're under more stress now, et cetera. Like, everybody is going through more stress now. We're on the go all the time,
Yeah.
and we
Hmm.
need sometimes to keep our fuel tank, at the top.
Muscle is our body's most valuable asset,
Yeah.
as far as
Absolutely.
I'm concerned.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
And weights and what we can do to, boost those results, it's the fountain of youth
Right.
for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, just in a week or so of starting like the bare minimum testosterone treatment, I saw like such a dramatic change in my body.
In what ways?
I just was stronger and I filled out. It's not like I didn't bulk up. I was just like, my butt was a little rounder and higher and tighter. And I was like
Yeah.
powering through my workouts and I felt good and I was sleeping better. And it,
Huh.
it was subtle,
Yeah.
but it was immediate.
It is crazy. A good friend of mine just started on HRT with the
Mm.
estrogen patch and
Hmm.
progesterone for very much pretty traditional perimenopause symptoms. And she was like, within 72 hours, maybe, she texted me. She's like,
Yeah.
I feel like myself again.
No
It
hot
is like,
flashes.
I feel like
Yeah.
it was just mood,
Okay.
irritability,
Yeah.
impatient,
Hmm.
and like you said, it really does affect everyone around you.
It does.
It does.
And it's so interesting. And I love that your partner was the one who, bridged this
Hmm.
relationship and said, what's happening with this, my
And I
partner?
think if you asked him today, what did you see? What did you see in Maria within the first week? He would say it was dramatic, dramatic difference.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's great that, the perimenopause and menopause conversation is so much louder now, and there's
Yeah.
there's very
Hmm.
little to no stigma. I mean, maybe it's just my algorithm, but I feel like
No, it's
that's
true.
all the content I'm being fed. But also a really important part of that is obviously having amazing support in the medical community like yourself, but having your partner and your family being in on the conversation,
Mhm.
particularly your partner, that
Absolutely.
Yeah.
husbands, wives should know what's going on,
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's a dramatic life
One of the
shift.
things I was really excited about with this conversation with you today is I see so on a daily basis. I mean, our members are primarily women,
Mhm.
but on a daily basis, people just want information. There's
Mhm.
so much out there, and you just don't know how to like weed through it.
So
Even me,
true.
I, you know, s- just didn't really approach it because I didn't know where to start. And to have someone like Chris guiding you, with a really informed plan for you specifically, because what he said is true. Everything is bioidentical. What works in my body isn't going to work the same
Mhm.
way exactly for you in your body. So you
Mm.
need an expert's guidance
Yeah.
for sure. But I see it all the time. I think women are just dying for information.
Oh, 100%. Well, it seems like you would be able to answer this as you went to medical school, but I heard actually that in medical school, I think the hours that you're required to spend on menopause is
It's virtually none. I'm
like
I'm telling you,
none.
it's almost none. It's sad, and I think when I see physicians now that try to address this issue, women are being blown off too much when it comes to this.
Mhm.
You're depressed. Oh, it's part of aging. It's part of menopause. Here's an antidepressant, or
Mhm.
you're having these symptoms, intercourse painful, all these other things that are happening. They try to mask it by giving other types of medications versus looking for the root cause of it,
Right. It's
right?
addressing the symptom.
Exactly. And looking at maybe it's her hormones that are changing now and that she needs the replacement there to help her feel better again. And it's
Mhm.
really empowering for women to get back on this. It's
Mhm.
it's life-changing for a lot of people. And so
Mhm.
it's just sad that, like you
Yeah.
said, in medical school, we're not trained in this area of it. We're trained, more towards pharmaceuticals and
Mhm.
and kind of, we're not trained on prevention
Mhm.
and functional
Mhm.
health and all that area of
Mhm.
it. And it's unfortunate, but I think maybe there's starting to be a shift now because there's so much talk about it, right? And so
Totally.
yeah, people are getting more open to it now, and physicians are opening up to it.
Well, the two of you, what you do, again, separately and together, is you're both a testament to the fact that people suffered and much in
Mhm.
silence for so long and
Right.
just sort of guessed and stumbled and dealt with. But now we don't need to do that. It's not even just baseline, but it's actually thriving
Oh,
and
absolutely.
actually getting like above it all and doing even better, better, better,
Mhm.
not
I
just
see that a
dealing with.
lot. I mean, I'm going to be 50 this year, and I feel better than I did at 25.
Sure.
Yeah, and I feel better and stronger than I did at 25 by a mile. And I think I see that a lot with members when they, find out that I have a daughter that's 23. They're like, well, wait, what? It, I think showing people that you don't have to just age,
Hmm.
that you can really decide how you're going to grow through life and
Mhm.
how you're going to feel. And I think it's like eye-opening to a lot of people, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I mean, what we see in our classes, because all of our instructors do the class, it
Hmm.
is not easy.
No.
So you have women, some of our instructors are older, up there on that stage doing the class, working harder than everyone else in the room, and they're like inspired
Hmm.
and ultimately empowered to,
Mhm.
go for it themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, you have a background in bodybuilding, right? I mean,
Yeah, I did.
oh, you did.
I
But
did.
I
Yeah,
mean, you know your body is my
very
point.
well.
Like, you know your body really well,
Hmm.
and you know what it takes to really push the limits and
Hmm.
and be a professional athlete. So, yeah, the fact that you say you feel better, and that's a big thing because I think a lot of people think, okay, well, aging, when we talk about aging, people think about the external and what you look
Hmm.
like. And obviously, we know infrared and hormone balancing and longevity will help our appearance. But more than anything, it's like how we feel too
Mhm.
Yeah,
internally and our
absolutely.
abilities. And
Mhm.
if you were running, I do get a little now that I'm squarely in middle age, I guess, you start hearing people be like, "Oh, I can't do that anymore. I can't do that anymore." And it gets me kind of sad
Mhm.
because why not? Why can't we
Right.
keep doing obviously safely? There are certain things that maybe you just grow out of and evolve from and you do
Hmm.
things that like modify or whatever. But I think that sort of conversation around the limitations of aging, is starting to shift. And
I
it
think
does
so.
start with things like hormones and addressing hormones and benefits of
Which you can also
red light
really move the
therapy.
needle at reversing it. I have a woman in our membership that's in her 60s, mid 60s, didn't really work out, couldn't go on her knees, didn't think she was someone that could be in a class like ours, and started off by her friend encouraging her to come and was in the back row. I mean, fast forward a year later, and she's in the front row, like kicking butt
Wow.
and pushes harder than anyone else in the class. And a year ago, not in a million years did she think she could do
Wow.
that.
Wow.
It's inspiring.
It's so inspiring.
Very inspiring.
So what magic are you two gonna make together? Is this like there is so much amazing science and the fact that, you've both integrated some of the same modalities and there's some crossover there, but then you can benefit each other so
Mm.
much. Like, what are we expecting? Like, what would you love to try and like accomplish together?
Well, first and foremost, I think, with hormone replacement therapy, right? You can't just do it alone. You've
Mhm.
got to have something like what Maria does and integrate the two. Because I tell people, if you're just going to do hormones and not work out, and you're not going to, push your body and start exercising, changing your lifestyle overall,
Mhm.
then you'll get some benefit. But if you really want to have that better quality of life and live longer
Mhm.
and see your health problems decrease, you've got to integrate the exercise with it too. And I think something with what Maria's done from a scientific standpoint is really ingenious. I mean,
Mhm.
you've got not just the workout and resistance training that a lot of people need as they age, but you've got this science backed by the red light therapy and the infrared. All this stuff coming together is just, it's the biggest thing in biohacking right now. But integrating the two is just, it's revolutionary to have both. So you really need to have both together. And I'm really excited to work with her to make sure that, people who maybe, are suffering from some of the hormone deficiencies, maybe they need me on that part. And for me, with people
Yes.
suffering from the, they're not active, et cetera, I need to send to her as well.
Mhm.
So
Smart.
complementing the two and having that synergistic relationship is so
Yeah.
important.
So
I'm really
smart.
excited about bringing our communities together,
Yeah.
sharing my experience with Dr. Asandra and how it's helped me. I think it could help so many of our members. And I mean, we have some fun events planned this
Yeah. I can't
year.
wait.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, women, and I know just only because the majority of your clients are women,
Mhm.
we just really need, not even just want, we need information. It
Mhm.
feels like this big game of kind of catch up. You obviously addressed hormone health and
Mhm.
balancing quite early in your practice before it became kind
Yeah.
of the height of topic, conversation it is right now. But I think we're all just so hungry to kind of catch up to
Mhm.
speed. And so I love what you guys are doing. Your workout is efficient on its own. You're addressing so many things. One of them, which I wanted to ask you about, is we're hearing so much about weightlifting and
Mhm.
how the important, I mean,
Finally.
Mhm.
it's constantly in our feeds. It's, we're hearing about it. There's so many articles dedicated to it that women need to be lifting weights. I mean, I can't leave my house without seeing a group of women walk by in weighted vests. I'm one of them. I have my weighted vest.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Everyone's got their weighted vest on. We got weighted vest clubs, walks, all that.
Mhm.
So we keep hearing about the importance of lifting weights. And you were saying part of perimenopause, or when you were going through menopause, was you were losing muscle, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So how do we address now if we're in our weightlifting phase, right? We're hearing about it. We know we have to do heavy weights. We're integrating it into our weekly routines. Like, how do we make sure that if we're in perimenopause or menopause, like we're addressing our hormones at the same time? Like, what is it, testosterone, or what would you say
Yeah.
there?
I think there's a stigma behind testosterone that's going to make you a man.
Mhm.
It is a male hormone, but we're not giving that much. It's not like bodybuilding. We're giving you just enough so you can maintain or add a little muscle and reap the benefits without the side effects of it. So when women hear testosterone, sometimes they kind of freak out and they think it's like
Mhm.
you're going to be the Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that type of thing. But
That's
it's
personally the look I'm going for. So great.
perfect. No, but you just need the right amount to get
Mhm.
you over those symptoms. And we always hear about women losing muscle mass, lack of libido, fatigue, and all that. And a lot of that has to do with testosterone. And that's
Okay.
why we really need to replace it safely.
Okay.
And weightlifting, like she said, is so important because
Yeah.
muscle is the pillar and what keeps
Right.
our structure and everything going and keeps the health problems away. But sometimes,
Osteoporosis, right?
yes,
Bone
everything.
density. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
sometimes you need to do the resistance training and all that, but you also may need a little supplementation as well because if you start going through menopause and when you go through menopause and complete it, your ovaries have pretty much shut down. You're producing a little bit, but not much anymore. So we may need to give that little extra just to help you out and get the body, started up again.
You know the reaction I had when you said your ovaries shut down? I got sad.
I know.
Do women have that reaction in your clinic when you say?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Right.
I
Why
mean,
do we
fortunately, I
get
have 2
sad?
kids. They're adults. I'm not having any more kids, but I
Right.
still was like, oh, wait.
Yeah. Do you get that emotion in your clinic
Yes.
or your practice? I know I'm not going to have more kids, but when I have that idea that somebody actually says it like that, which is exactly what's happening. I'm not saying you should phrase it any other way. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
shop's closed. It's never opening again. But
Yeah.
that's it. That's what's happening. And
That's
that's
what
why
happens.
our hormones are shifting so dramatically because there's
Correct.
an entire part of our reproductive system that's like, good night.
Yeah. Good night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we see that like if a lady gets a hysterectomy or whatever, they also feel the same way too. I'm losing my lady parts. And I tell them sometimes, you know what? But it's closed anyways. It's not working anymore. So it's okay to do that at this point if they need it. But I could see how it definitely does affect a lot of people. But you don't have to suffer with that anymore. You don't need to, you need to understand it's not the end of the world. We can give that back to you now safely and effectively.
Okay, so as you're integrating a lot more weightlifting, coupling with cardio and resistance, it's good to also address, where your testosterone is with your doctor, or if you have a hormone doctor like Dr.
Eat enough
Asandra.
protein.
You need protein intake, especially as we
Protein is
age.
key.
Huge. But one thing I wanted to bring up too is a lot of these ladies are on the GLPs now. You know, the weight loss meds?
Yes. Oh gosh. Okay.
Yes. So what I wanted
happens
to
there?
muscle loss.
Yeah.
We're seeing huge amount of
Significant.
significant muscle loss with this.
Okay.
So it's important that you still do the resistance training, get your protein intake, but also, if needed, be on the hormones too to maintain that because you're not just losing fat and weight, you're also losing muscle with this as well.
Yeah.
Everything. So this is one other thing that I stress to people. You've got to keep up with the workouts, the resistance training, and maybe even have a little bit of hormone replacement therapy to maintain that muscle because it's significant. And that's why we're hearing about the Ozempic phase and all
Skinny
that.
fat.
Yeah, skinny fat. People are
Well,
getting
I
skinny fat.
would think that if you are in perimenopause or menopause and you are on a GLP drug, wouldn't you your intake have to be even a little more?
Yes, I
Right?
mean,
You have to
absolutely.
overcompensate a
Right.
bit, right?
And integrate the resistance training.
Right.
You've
On
got
all of it.
all of
kind
it. It's
Yeah.
got to be done, and sometimes I see ladies now because a lot of times when they're on these high doses of it, they're getting the skinny fat, they're losing muscle, they're getting weaker, and then that's going to lead to osteoporosis and the other medical problems that could come down the line. So you got to keep up on that. If you are on a GLP, make sure your hormones are balanced and optimized.
Interesting.
And doing the resistance training with the protein. It must be done.
Yeah, which is
So
a
important.
lot of people now.
I know.
A lot
I'm
of
so
people.
glad you got the opportunity
Yeah.
to say that.
Yeah, no.
very important.
We're going to have a whole other show
Yeah,
just on
it's
that.
a show
Right.
itself.
It's a show in
Yeah,
itself.
it really is.
Well, I want to thank you guys both. God, it's so interesting. And I'm sure we'll be talking again. I have so many other follow-up questions.
Yes.
As someone who has just recently found out that I am in perimenopause based on my hormone panel, but also symptoms-wise, I'm like, okay, yeah, something's happening. So I can't wait to keep taking your classes regularly, paying you a visit in Beverly Hills. It's so important.
Right.
Hormones really are kind of like the foundation for everything.
But you're
right?
doing the right thing starting
Yeah.
now, taking,
Yeah.
in Burn LA because you're being proactive.
Yeah.
Which is key.
And efficient.
And
Efficient. Absolutely.
Well, speaking of efficient, I've got some very efficient rapid fire questions. One word
Okay.
answers only, please.
Oh, God.
Woohoo.
Okay.
I don't know if I should I should ask you and then you.
That's
not
fine.
both.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
go
We'll
for
do.
it.
Okay.
Okay. Candles or incense?
Candles.
Botox or bangs?
Botox.
Cardio or weights?
Weights. Duh.
Scent. Are you musky and woody or bright and floral?
Probably bright and floral.
Coffee or matcha?
Coffee.
Coffee or Diet Coke?
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
What is a familiar scent that immediately calms or comforts you?
The ocean.
What are you doing, taking, practicing, watching right now that gets your endorphins going?
I mean, burn. Honestly, it's 10 years later. I look forward to it every day. Get FOMO when I'm not there on Sundays.
Oh,
I'm high on it, when I am in the middle of class and when I walk out. So it might sound cheesy, but it's that.
no. I mean,
Yeah.
that's got to be it.
Yeah.
What are your 3 tips for living well?
Let shit go. Say that.
Mm-hmm.
Let it go. Live with a constant state of gratitude. Really, truly. Work out daily and sleep.
Simple.
It's simple. It really is simple.
Mm-hmm.
I think people overcomplicate it, but I think simplicity is the key.
Yeah. If you can work out and sleep,
Mhm.
you are, especially in perimenopause,
Oh, yeah.
find that time
Mm-hmm.
and fight those hormones to get to sleep. You can, or balance those hormones. Don't fight them.
Truly.
You're winning.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Asandra, candles or incense?
Incense.
Botox or bangs?
Botox.
Cardio or weights?
Weights, definitely.
Are you musky and woody or bright and floral?
Bright and floral.
I love that for
Yeah.
you. Okay, coffee or matcha?
Coffee.
Coffee or Diet Coke?
No diet products, so definitely coffee.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
What is a familiar scent that immediately calms or comforts you?
My baby's smell. Smelling my baby.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I want to smell your baby. I love baby smell. What are you doing, taking, practicing, watching right now that gets your endorphins going?
A lot of supplements and my hormones that I take too.
And your baby.
And my baby too, my
Mhm.
family.
And what are your 3 tips for living well?
Stay close to your family. Reduce stress by exercising.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm sneaking one in there.
Mhm.
And then also balancing your hormones as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good advice. And tell everyone where they can find you on social media or your website.
We're burnla.com.
Mhm.
And our Instagram is Burn Los Angeles, all one word. And then I'm Maria Chase _.
There you
Yes.
go. For me, it's Asandra MD. It's ASANDRA, 1S, MD.com. My Instagram is the same, Asandra MD. You can find me on there. A lot of good information there as well.
Great information from the both of you. Thank you so much for being here today and for paying us a visit here at the LA Times Studios.
Thank you for
so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
fun.
Thank you so much for joining us today on another episode of Livin' Well, and we'll see you next time. Livin' Well is hosted by me, Melissa Magsaysay. Our senior producers are Jordan Patterson and Hannah Matner. Our associate producer is Sarah Kitnick. Our video director is Julia McCabe. Our director of post-production is Patrick Stewart. Our senior sound recording engineer is Nick Norton. And motion graphics by Dougal Henkin. Our video editor is Hannah Matner. Ben Church is our senior coordinating producer. And Anne-Marie Hauser is our production manager. Our podcast marketing and social media manager is Bella Martinez. Our general counsel at LA Times is Jeff Glasser. Special thanks to President and Chief Operating Officer of the Los Angeles Times, Chris Argenteri, and Executive Editor of the Los Angeles Times, Terry Tang. Livin' Well is created by LA Times Studios President Anna Magsaysay and executive produced by Darius Derrickson and Flora Macari.